John and I are kind of married.
Basically.
It's so exciting.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope it goes really well and nothing bad happens.
I mean,
me too.
luckily, nothing bad has happened because John is an excellent work husband.
And you're an excellent work husband.
You're breathtaking.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're an excellent work.
Look at these
Oh,
two
come
cuties.
on.
I can't take it.
But guess what? Not everyone's like John.
We got the worst husbands you've ever seen in your life today,
Yeah,
ladies and
the
gentlemen.
internet's worst husbands, and we're going to rank them all from terrible to maybe slightly not as bad.
Yeah, the least of the worst.
Yeah.
The least of the worst.
So we're going to do a tier list. Let's buckle in, and maybe you can give us your own rankings in the comments below.
I refuse to raise my husband's secret affair child. My family's furious with me.
You know, I'm just going to let that one marinate. You go ahead and get into
Okay.
that.
Well,
Big ask.
that's a big ass.
It's a big ask.
So the S tier is the worst person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from
And then the F tier is the least worst,
The
worst
least
person. Okay. That's so good.
We got it. Well, I, female 32, met my husband in an arranged marriage setup at 21. He was 27 and in postgraduate medical degree during my MBBS days, and we liked each other and got married after a year of courtship. But after marriage, I found out that he was so controlling, etc., etc. From clothes to my male friends, it became an issue for him. I have to fight to be able to dress. He liked me as a modern girl, but after marriage, he wanted me to wear more traditional clothing.
The switch up.
The switch up, the old bait and switch.
Yeah.
I had my son at 25 with the help of my parents and in-laws. I was able to complete my MBBS and later my residency. Let's go.
Good job.
I'm a surgeon.
We've had our ups and downs as he was controlling, and I had to fight a lot for myself. We had separate finances because from our joint investments, he gifted his sister lots of gold without even asking me. But I kept my mouth shut because I loved my mother and father-in-laws. Now, I have recently found out that my husband had a son with a woman 12 years back in India. And having a child before marriage is a sin. So not only was this a secret child, 12 years ago, he was out of wedlock also at the time.
I feel like that's pretty S-tier terrible husband behavior. Like I
mean,
think
here's my only argument for the tier below. I don't know if it was a cheating baby. It was a hidden
secret.
baby.
Oh,
Hidden
okay,
baby.
if it's a
Secret baby.
So cheating baby S-tier.
S-tier.
Hidden baby.
One below.
I think maybe two below.
yeah, I would
Maybe
say C. I'm putting that in C tier right now.
So right now we're gonna put it at like a B tier.
Yeah, maybe we could drag it
Let's
real quick
let's
over
drag
to
it
B.
over.
Yeah, let's drag it to
I'm
B.
feeling a B.
We could move it. So it's seen as a black mark, especially on women even today. But the women here weren't as liked by my in-laws, and they gave her a huge amount of money and one rental property to stay out of their lives. So to hide
Wow.
the shame, they paid her off.
Ooh,
You're like,
Big time.
Ooh.
Just stay here at the shame apartment.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Don't worry.
But you got it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, like, dude, if I got an
Shame
apartment
bag.
for shame,
Shame bag.
like that's not that. What's not that bad?
That's pretty good.
That's
A
kind of
real estate
honestly,
mogul off shame.
I would even say that makes the husband better. Like I'll be like, damn, he took care of the last one.
Come on, golden rules. You get one practice
You get
family.
one practice family.
Well, yeah,
Everyone
sorry,
knows.
I forgot.
But so they gave her this deal to which she obliged. That is why they rushed his marriage with me, because they're trying to fully erase. That's like the final
Right.
closed chapter, clean, getting him squeaky clean,
Okay.
right? Now she is dying with cancer.
The shame wife?
The shame one.
Dude, shame will do that to
Oh,
you.
no.
She visited our home and it was a huge mess. Her son fully looks like my husband. After my husband admitted, as he had no other option, he hasn't met the kid in years. Now I'm asking for a divorce and I'm going to get half of joint assets. Let's
That bag.
get that bag.
No shame in that. Hey, yo.
I earn well to keep my son happy and successful. I have my own clinic and pharmacy shop on my parents' property.
Yeah.
Boss!
Get
You're a
that clinic.
doctor and a
Boom.
surgeon.
Ooh.
I am a surgeon.
So,
Right?
I guess.
Doctor, surgeon.
Something like that. So I'm financially set. Opie's got it. Now, my in-laws have taken the other kid as the mother is very sick and is in the hospital now. I am currently at my parents' house.
Dude, W for the in-laws again.
W for the in-laws. Well, yeah, W. I
W.
would say that's a true W.
Yeah.
The paying her off is actually not a W.
It's like
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
It's not at the bottom of our
No.
our
That's
ranking,
why it's like, you know,
our tier list.
it's not an S tier move, but that has nothing to do with the husband. So I'm not gonna even rank it.
Yeah. So now the in-law, you think the in-laws are so great. The in-laws are asking me to raise the kid and to forgive my husband.
That's a tall order. I'm getting really mixed signals from these in-laws.
I've handled his anger issues. Slaps, not regular, but sometimes during arguments, though I slap back too. He didn't cheat post-marriage, but I wasn't informed earlier about the kid. So he lied about the kid for their entire relationship.
Slaps upgrade him now.
Yeah, I was about to say slap gets upgraded to A.
Yeah, slaps,
Yeah, dude.
slaps an A.
Yeah, even
It's-
if she slaps back, then slap, slap.
Yeah.
Slap, slap.
Bump
No.
that.
That's an
Bump
A.
that up.
Yeah.
So I will never stop my son's access to his father or paternal grandparents, but I don't want any relation with this kid of his. I don't care if he's innocent or not. I don't want to be a resentful stepmother of some child. I also always wanted one kid. My parents haven't pressured me, but they say give this marriage a chance and just be cordial to the kid if possible. Dude.
Wait, that's setting the kid
Everyone's
up.
telling her.
Now he has to deal with a terrible, like potentially mother figure that just hates him.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
And
not.
she's already aware of it too. She's like, the reason I
I
don't
will hate
want to
him.
raise this kid is because I'm not gonna like this kid.
Yeah.
honestly, it's like, yo, you raise him.
Yeah.
This is your grandchild.
Yeah.
Like for the in-laws, like, yo, raise your own grandchild if you're so concerned about that. My God. But I shut it all down. They don't know about the DV. It happened 6 or 7 times in total. Now, my husband has been served divorce papers. Him, my in-laws, and relatives all are asking to think about the young child and give that kid motherly love, which I don't want to do. I will never stop my son from having a good relationship with that kid because I guess they're half brothers, right? But he won't be welcome in my home or in my life. I have been called a bee, a witch, etc. for not forgiving my husband and not thinking about this child. My only concern is my own son, and I want him to grow up happy, etc., etc. Have a flourishing life. I have also decided not to go for dating or other matching, any kind of dating for the next 3 to 4 years. So I can give my child proper care and fully focus on him. Am I the a-hole for refusing to raise my husband's secret child?
But dwelling on that, I don't think OP is the a-hole for refusing. That's a tall order for something you didn't even know about and like we're not aware of. In terms of how we rank the husband, I think it's A tier. Only because I have no idea what these other stories are, and I want to give room.
Yeah,
That's
if
true,
anything, there was
yeah.
more S tier behavior coming out of the in-laws.
Yeah.
And like the parents
The,
being
the
like,
in-laws are like,
why did they
evil-
abandon that kid?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
12 years later, they want to be like, oh, now it's your fault and your problem. And if you don't want to raise this kid, you're a monster. But it's like you guys shunned them a decade ago. Like, what are you talking about? This is
it's
your
giving
fault.
evil mafia boss. You know,
Yeah.
they're the ones like behind the scenes pulling all these strings, but they're completely worried about image and presentation. But for this, AITA, I think there's a little bit more.
Oh, there's more?
There's a little bit more. By the way, there's always more. If you tap our profile to join our live streams every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, you know what to do.
Wait, really quick. What's worse? Hitting your wife or having a secret affair, baby?
Ooh, I think
That might be an
this-
impossible
the
one.
first one.
I think hitting your wife is worse.
Yeah.
It's so.
I
I mean,
don't know.
honestly,
This is
they're
a cursed
But this is,
conversation.
look,
yeah.
I
This
think
is
the way that OP said this, she kind of glossed over it. It was like, he slapped me, but like I slapped him. Like we were slapped. We like to slap.
To like the wrestling ring. Like you're gonna get.
I just don't know.
So
that we
we're
put
gonna
the
move up
first
to
story
S.
in
I
S.
say
we're,
S.
we're first
I
story
say
and
S.
we're doing S.
It's just so
You-
beyond
And
unacceptable. That's me.
we're only having one story per category. Is that true?
No.
Let's get into this relevant update. So there's some relevant comments. So from Poster Bomber, info, who is asking you to raise your husband's child? His family or yours? P.S. You're not the a-hole. To which OP responds, both her own family and her in-laws. My close cousins are saying, how can I be so cruel? And that the kid wasn't a result of cheating, which that confirms. Okay, so it wasn't a affair baby, but it was a secret hidden baby.
It was a shame, baby.
It was a shame.
Shame, baby.
A shame, babies.
You still don't like
Put
you
into
don't
an asbestos
have to-
hotel.
The angel move is to take on the shame baby, but it's not like an a-hole move to not want to take on a shame baby.
Sorry,
It's-
just
no.
the way you said shame, baby.
It's so
I know,
It's
I
so-
know,
You
but it's the
started
way you
this-
said it. It got me.
it's
I don't
so
know.
beyond your responsibility. I feel like it's completely like it's okay. You don't need
Yeah.
to be the angel in this case.
That would be like if I had a kid before John and I started OK Storytime, and
Before you
then
guys
I died, and then I was like, John, you have to take care of my shame baby from another relationship,
But now we're.
from another podcast.
But you told me about it.
No, I didn't. You have no idea. My dying breath is
Mm.
take care of my shame baby.
I mean, no, if it was Riley, of course. But
I think
guess
you
if it's anyone
would. You're
but
the
right.
kind of guy that would take care of a shame baby, I feel.
Can you stop? Can we stop saying shame baby? I feel so bad for this kid. He just
He
labeled
watches
as
the
a
show.
shameful
Oh, no.
object.
I'm not. They're doing
It's just what it is,
I
man.
know. I know.
Yeah, blame
We've
it on
dug a
chat.
hole. We can't get out of it now. We've got shame baby.
It's
and
permanently
we
marked.
can't back
I'm
out.
accident, baby.
Oh, we
Oh.
like that. Though.
Are you okay?
It's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Haven't you ever
know what?
watched Bob Ross? There's Happy Accident.
Yeah,
It
true.
is. Unfortunately, it's not right.
You're my miracle baby. Okay.
Yeah, without me,
No,
I
you're a
wouldn't have
very
a
happy
family, so-
accident.
All right. But back to Opie's response. This kid wasn't a result of cheating. But the thing is, I would have never married a man with a child. I was never given the option because that was her deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to marry someone with kids already. Additional aioli 545 says, not the a-hole. You should have given his full history. Otherwise, it was fraud. I wonder if the families would feel the same if you had hidden a child and the child's father passed away
Yeah.
and you needed to take care of it. So that is, yes.
Yeah, dude.
So
if
true.
the tables were turned, I feel like those in-laws would like destroy the table.
Absolutely.
100%.
They would
Opie,
just do
Opie
the,
should mention
the
this.
wrestling move. Where
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah.
They
Was
would
it you
do-
told me about it, right?
What?
Well, that's the RKO.
Yeah.
The RKO.
The RKO
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the table.
What's the
breaking
table?
move.
It's like a.
I think that's like football fans like to just jump off of high spots.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills football fans.
Have you done that? It's pretty fun.
I haven't broken the table.
Oh,
No,
dude, it's fun.
That sounds fun.
you've broken the table.
Broken a table.
Okay,
he's-
nice.
Opie responds to that. Lol. In India, if I was a non-married single mother, I would have never been considered as a marriage prospect at all.
Mm.
This is the unspoken rule. You can go and have fun secretly, but don't get pregnant. So, nope.
Mm.
It wouldn't have
Mm.
flown. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, I stick by an original thing, not the a-hole. We've moved husband up to S tier because we believe hitting is wrong.
Bingo.
Yes.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Of
not
course.
men of the 1950s.
Nobody
Nope.
here is Sean Connery. None of us condone
Did
hitting a
Sean
woman.
Sean Connery hit women?
Oh, he was
Yeah.
up all about it.
Yeah. Also Gandhi.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Gandhi a bad guy?
Let's go to the next one. Yeah, John's trying to get away. All right.
I'm right here.
My husband refused to be in the delivery room with me, so I left him at the hospital.
Well,
That's
that's
pretty
a good
bad.
place to leave him. If anything happens to him, he's right there.
This happened 2 months ago, but it's still causing major friction in my family, so I need some outside opinions. I, 29 female, and my husband, Jake, 32 male, have been together for 6 years, married for 3. We were both ecstatic when we found out we were expecting our first child. Pregnancy was tough for me, though. I had severe morning sickness, gestational diabetes, and was generally miserable. But Jake was supportive and sweet the whole way through, which made it bearable. By the way, this comes from Anxious Committee on the r/AITAH subreddit. So, as we got closer to my due date, we discussed birth plans. I was adamant that I wanted Jake in the delivery room. I needed his support, and he'd always agreed. However, a few weeks before my due date, Jake started acting strange. He was distant, distracted, and wouldn't engage in any baby-related discussions. Any conspiracy theories in the crowd?
Nope.
I thought he was just anxious about becoming a dad, so I didn't press him too much. My conspiracy theory is he thinks it's not his kid. The day I went into labor, Jake drove me to the hospital, but seemed off. He was quiet and kept checking his phone. When we got there, he pulled the nurse aside and spoke to her privately. She came back and told me Jake wouldn't be in the delivery room because he was uncomfortable with blood and medical procedures. I was stunned. I begged him to stay, told him I needed him, but he kept saying, I can't do this. I was heartbroken, furious, but I didn't have much time to dwell on it as my contractions were getting stronger. Jake said he'd been waiting in the delivery room and kissed me on the forehead before leaving. I was left alone, crying and feeling utterly abandoned. Labor was long, painful, and traumatic. I was alone the entire time except for the medical staff. When our son was finally born, I was exhausted, emotionally and physically. The nurse handed me my son, and all I felt was a deep sadness that Jake wasn't there to share anymore. After I was taken to a recovery room, I asked the nurse to get Jake. She came back and said he'd left the hospital some hours ago. I couldn't believe it. Called him repeatedly, but he didn't answer. Little whack. Finally, I sent him a text saying I was done and he could find his own way home. I didn't see him until the next day. He showed up at the hospital with flowers and an apology saying he'd panicked and needed some air. He claimed he'd gone home to shower and change and fell asleep, which I didn't buy for a second. I told him I didn't believe him. I was overwhelmed with anger and hurt, and I told him he had let me down in the worst possible way.
I see you.
He kept apologizing, saying he knew he'd mess up and he'd do anything to make it right. I didn't want him near me or our son at that moment, so I asked him to leave. He tried to protest, but I told him I needed to process everything. He left, and I spent the rest of my hospital stay alone with my baby, trying to grapple with the enormity of what happened. Since then, Jake has been trying to make amends. He's been taking parenting classes, attending therapy, and constantly trying to be present and supportive, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. He abandoned me at one of the most vulnerable moments in my life. Every time I look at him, I remember being alone in the delivery room, terrified and in pain, wondering why the person who promised to be by my side wasn't there. My family is split. Something I'm being too hard on Jake, that he made a mistake and is clearly remorseful. They say he's a good father and partner otherwise, and I should focus on moving forward for the sake of our child. Others think what he did was unforgivable and I should leave him. They believe I'll never truly trust him again, and that's no foundation for a marriage. But you know what's a foundation for us right here is going to our live every weekday, 3 p.m. PST.
Oh, yeah.
I'm torn. I do still love him, and I know he loves me and our son, but part of me wonders if I'll ever get over this. Was it a moment of weakness on his part or a sign of something deeper that I can't overlook? So am I the a-hole for leaving him at the hospital and now considering leaving him for good? And that's where the story ends. I'm thinking like it's way less bad than the first one.
It's less bad than the first one. I want to say, so
I'm thinking C.
I was going to say B.
Wait, Duchess Cassandra says he left to cheat. That's crazy.
That was my ICU.
There's no
that was
way.
my ICU.
There's
Was he left to cheat as his baby was being born?
That would upgrade it to probably.
But we don't have confirmation.
We don't have confirmation. As of the information right now, I'm going C. You're B.
I was saying B. Dakota, tiebreaker.
I was saying C.
C?
I personally despise hospitals. Like, if I'm in a hospital for like longer than a couple hours, like I have to get out of there just to get fresh air. Like, I'm not gonna go home maybe and like take a shower.
Are you gonna go home, take a shower, and fall asleep?
I wouldn't be like,
and then cheat on your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't. I won't do this, right?
My husband demanded I take full custody of our daughter after divorcing me. I refused. Dang, no one wants this kid.
Oh,
Yikes.
Another shame, baby.
Oh, no. So, I, 31 female, have been together with my husband, Alex, 33 male, for 7 years and married for 4. Alex was always really excited about the prospect of children from the beginning of our relationship. I was on the fence. I've seen how hard single moms have it. I promised myself that I'd never be in that position. Plus, I work as a software engineer. I love my career, and I didn't want to give it up to be a mom. After Alex and I got married, those fears went away. We were very much in love. I felt safe with him, and I told him my fears, and he said all the right things to make them vanish.
Silver tongue or actually a good follow through? We'll see.
Well, so we tried for a baby and had our daughter, Ramona, 2 years after we got married.
Congrats. Seems like a happy family. Seems like it's going well.
Will she have? We don't know. By the way, this comes from Budget Fishing 7420 on the AmITheAsshole subreddit. So, the pregnancy and the first year with the baby were extremely hard on me. I had multiple health problems during and after the pregnancy that were life-threatening and altered my body permanently. I was disabled and nearly passed away once in the 6 months after I gave birth. And during this time, my husband grew distant and became angry frequently when we would speak. I spent a lot of time in and out of the hospital and was unable to work, so a lot of the baby care went to him during this time. It was all I could do to stay alive and get better, being separated from my daughter and my husband so much. Because, yeah, it's like, not only are you in the hospital, like now you're separated from your new baby, and like...
So far, like, the bad behavior from the husband is being, like, mad when they talk.
It's just beginning.
It's just
right?
beginning.
It's yeah, it seems like we're on the...
Yeah. Which I
rise.
think of worst husbands, probably bottom of the list so far.
But yes, yeah, but not the worst.
Not
which
the
means
worst.
the best
Yeah.
So far.
I'm going to put it at a D right now.
Yeah, I'll put it at a
Let's
D
put it
right
at a
now.
D
I'll
right
put it
now.
at a D. We'll see if it changes.
So you're gonna put what, the D?
Hey, big D, let me talk about this D.
Okay.
So eventually I did get better enough to help more with the baby. But after I was discharged from the hospital, he barely spoke to me. I want to clarify earlier that at no time did I ever neglect our daughter if I was able to care for her. I leaned on him a lot during this period, but I was also fighting for my health and my life so that way I could continue to be there for her. If I had pushed myself too hard, I would have made it worse or passed away. So we stayed in this state of limbo like this for a while. I was still in recovery, not back to 100% yet, but able to resume a somewhat normal life, and we shared more responsibility with Ramona.
So it sounds like the husband is getting like overworked or something with all of the responsibility falling on him, probably taking care of the wife and taking care of the kids. So he's acting in a bad way. Like he's acting by being like snappy and mean to OP.
Yes.
But probably from trying to take care of all these things.
Yeah. In fairness, at the same token, he is doing all this stuff. It's a little unclear. It almost seems like she's
I don't know what he's doing though.
at the I mean, I guess just taking care. I don't even know if he's taking care of her because she said like in and out of the hospital. So I imagine there's some level of more care because like there's already like you're
but we don't have
time doing
specifics on what he's actually doing.
Don't have specifics other than taking the majority of childcare while she's in the hospital.
Yeah, which is kind of like I would move him for doing that. I would move him down a tier. I think that's even better.
I said, oh, like he's still like fulfilling his duty.
Yeah, I would say now I'm gonna go like E because he's doing what needs to be done. Like we're getting towards like medium good husband.
We'll see. I'll withhold my judgment and keep it there for now. But the not communicate, basically icing out your.
It's not good. But of the ones I feel like it's at least he's fulfilling his responsibilities. It's not like
I don't know if it's E, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe it's a D. Maybe it's a C.
Could be.
Could be. Dang. Nice. So I tried talking to him about it many times over the next 6 months, but it was more of the same thing. He wouldn't speak to me, or he'd get angry at every little thing I did, insist that I was making things up, and blame me for somehow criticizing him. It was a constant deflection for whatever was actually bothering him. I got another job about 9 months after the pregnancy, so like right after you gave birth.
Wait,
dude,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Maybe they meant
9
the
months
birth.
after. Like I think
Yeah,
9
it
months
had
after
to have been.
birth. I don't think it's like 9 months after inception.
Yeah,
It's like my
wait,
new
what?
job was raising the kid.
Yeah.
or conception. Sorry,
I had
not
the kid
inception.
at my desk. This is inception. And things seemed to improve for a while, or at least I thought.
Okay.
Not long after Ramona's first birthday, Alex served me with a gift of his own.
Divorce papers.
Divorce papers!
Knew it!
Oh,
Yep.
no.
So he said he'd fallen out of love with me a long time ago and he was ready to start anew. I was in shock. Things had started to improve between us. That was because he decided to leave and he felt less happy. It was
less unhappy.
less
That's why it got better because
unhappy.
he had
Whoa.
made the mental decision. I'm divorcing her. Oh, life's fellas, isn't life a little sweeter today?
He's feeling better
Yeah.
now that he's ready to
let's
abandon.
move him back up to D tier now
Yeah.
for divorce.
Yeah,
But as of right now, like I don't see him like divorcing someone isn't like terrible behavior.
Nah, but saying that you're divorcing someone because you've been unhappy for a long time after you just had a kid with them, you could have divorced them before you had the child.
Well, you don't know.
Now you're
You don't
mixing up.
know.
Now
Also,
you're getting the child mixed up.
Kids
in.
make marriages better too.
Yeah.
always.
Give it a
You know,
chance.
when
That's-
thi-
If you want to save a marriage, have a kid. Have two.
when
that's-
things go south, don't just take it in the mouth. That's what they say.
This is what
What
they
is that?
say.
Is that what they say down there?
That's what they say.
But wait, so as of right now, I don't know if I haven't seen anything specific that he's done bad.
To me, it is the complete lack of communication and kind of like low key. One could say like he was like abandoning her inside of the relationship.
Sure.
And she's there for a year, just like, please, like, talk to me. What's happening? Like to live with that day in and day out. Now, if he had been like,
As long
like-
as he takes care of the kid and makes sure that he's like fulfilling his responsibility as a father, I don't think the divorce is like.
he's failing his responsibility, I would say, as a partner by like just completely drifting away and, quote unquote, maybe it's not the right word, but quote unquote, abandoning her and not communicating that as well. If he had communicated all like, hey, I'm overstressed,
feeling
this is
unhappy.
too much,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
feeling unhappy.
True.
Can this change?
Which is
I'm
why
feeling
he's
stressed, can this
still on the
happy?
list. He's a worst husband.
Yes.
But I feel like of the things that
of the worst.
I feel like his sin is not communicating his feelings so far.
And I think also too, I would add to the list. Like again, he
So
could
far.
have if he had. I think it's the drifting thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm with your what's the tier list again?
I put it in D.
I'm still on D2.
I'm okay with it being still
still on D.
on D. And also, J. Rose says he hasn't done anything bad, being angry at her for fighting for her life. Yes, but we don't know what being angry means.
So I was in shock, and things had started to improve between us. He explained that was because he decided to leave, and he felt less unhappy. He felt better after deciding to divorce her.
If he takes care of the child, then I think like
but he's still,
if he takes care. No, he's still bad.
Yeah.
But if he takes care of the child, like then it stays at D. If he doesn't take care of the child, then it upgrades.
I guess we should emphasize that these are all bad
these
guys.
are all bad.
Yeah.
We're not
We're
like
just trying to figure out
who's
the worst.
The worst of the bad.
who's worse. Someone said
Great
We're not
medicine.
defending
red
these
flag.
guys.
Yeah, we're trying to
Like-
rank these terrible people.
Yeah,
we're not saying these are good people.
Yeah, we told you up front they're all bad.
They're all bad. We're ranking the internet's worst husbands. God damn. They're like, oh, I'm seeing red flags in these guys.
Yeah, they're all red flags.
All these are red flags.
Yeah, these are the kings of red flags, ladies and gentlemen. But this was on a Saturday when this all happened. So I made sure that he was going to be home to take care of Ramona for the weekend. And then I packed a bag and left until Sunday evening. I didn't say where I was going. And truthfully, I didn't really go anywhere but just drive. I drove 2 states over by the time I stopped. I needed to think, whoa.
Like Forrest Gump when he runs across the country.
Yeah.
When I got back Sunday evening, he was pissed that I left him alone with our daughter. He's always seemed really put off any time he had to care for her alone. This time was no exception. I sat him down and very carefully said, I will grant you a no contest divorce, but I am not accepting full custody of Ramona. Oh, dude, again, they're both they both fully don't want the kid.
Has he said he doesn't want the kid? I haven't seen that.
He seems frustrated by the fact that he's had to take care of her solo. It seems to be that's what he's not.
But
he's not saying
we
it,
have
he's
had
not
no
communicating.
specific indicator yet of.
He hasn't explicitly communicated it. The way that Opie's writing the story is, I'm led to believe that this is where all of these crazy frustrations are coming from. Could not be.
I want to see it.
Well, if he was only pissed before, he was explosive now. And everything he hated about me finally came out. That I was a horrible mother. That I wasn't strong enough to even be a mother. That I was too weak to carry a child, and now I was abandoning her.
See-
I think he's making also
tier.
attacking her on her health issue.
C tier. You can't.
Yeah, I
when
think-
you
I
say
think you
that, that
upgraded.
bumps up the tier.
I think you
Yeah, dude.
upgraded.
Being like you're too
Right.
weak to carry children.
Dude.
You
C
suck.
tier.
That's a
You
C.
know who's too weak to carry children? You!
So is he? I mean,
The husband.
Does he
not
not?
husband,
you,
the
the
husband.
audience.
Yeah. I don't know if you can carry a baby.
Also, to clarify, I don't know. I saw some comments talking about this is about being a bad husband instead of being a bad father. But I feel like if you're a bad father, that's an element that would make you a bad husband. You don't want to be married to someone who's a bad father. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
It does
It's
play
gonna.
in. It
It's
plays
gonna
in. It
hold
plays
some
in.
kind of
It's
weight.
it's a big variable.
Yeah.
It's a big variable. I very calmly stated that I loved her dearly and would not abandon her, that I would pay child support and visit her every other weekend, that I would be there for her in any way I could, but I had been very clear with him when we got married that I would never be a single mom. He became borderline violent at this, grabbing things like he was going to throw them and screaming that I was ruining his life on purpose. This
A
is
tier.
it's feeling like psychotic.
well, I
break
feel we're almost
territory.
at a bump up. I don't want to bump it up yet. Do you guys want to bump it up? I want to see what
I'll
happens.
go to B.
I said
I'll
to
go-
bump it
I'll
up
go
to
to B.
A.
I'll go
No
to
way.
B.
No,
Yeah.
because he hasn't. I think.
Because these are true. This is a true colors moment to me.
He's screaming
Yes,
and throwing things.
but
This
has,
is
but he hasn't hit.
The veil
He
has been
hasn't hit.
lifted.
He hasn't hit.
So far,
And
no.
our S tier, that's reserved for slappers.
Well, it's not that it's reserved, but it's you get automatically put into S tier if
So we think
there's
this is
physical
S?
yeah,
anything.
Okay.
not yet.
not
it's
yet.
not S
I
yet.
don't think
Yeah,
it's
let's
S
go-
yet.
let's keep it at
I
B.
feel-
Let's
I
keep it
think.
at B.
I think.
I feel B.
Okay, I'm down.
Let's
I'm
keep it
Keep
down.
it a bean.
Let's keep it at B.
I wasn't going to stick around while he talked to me like this. So I went and checked on Ramona, gave her a kiss, then grabbed my bag and left again. By the way, guys, we will never abandon you. All you have to do is tap the profile, join our live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, and we will be the father, the mother.
Yeah, that's right. Jerry Springer style.
Call us daddy.
Then, a couple of days later, his mom texted me. He left Ramona with her for a few days, and she had some nasty things to say about me. That a mother should never leave her child, etc., etc. I told her it wasn't her business and that her son doesn't get a free pass to restart his life because his wife nearly passed away when she was pregnant, and he became very resentful with the responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, he has responsibility in taking care of that child.
So usually it's like, okay, it takes two people to tango. Both parents share the responsibility of the child from the get-go.
He pushed for
also,
it when
he was also the one that pushed
Yeah.
it. Exactly.
But they did both agree, so I think they should both be equally, at very least, equally responsible, if not like more responsibility on him.
Yeah, it adds like I don't even know if it's necessarily more responsibility on him, but it is an attack against him.
Yeah.
He was the one that kind of
And for him to weasel out
Led
of
her
this
there.
is crazy.
he led her there and then weaseled out. Exactly.
Wait, I didn't catch the beginning of that.
Yeah. So,
So,
he was
pushed for the
like
child.
she initially didn't want children. She was like, I'm a career woman. I want to do this.
A tier.
I'm not ready to put it A tier.
I'm with just that piece of information that he pushed for the kid, and then a year after having the kid is like, bye. By the way, as soon as I thought about divorcing you, my life got so much better. This guy,
But is
This
he
guy,
A
that's a
is he
terrible,
A
terrible.
tier suck? I think he's right now a B tier suck.
I think gaslighting someone into having a kid and then being like, peace, and then also being like, by the way, you're a terrible mother. You can't even really have children, loser, LOL. And also, I'm gonna throw this at you. Maybe not. No, but I am.
She
Maybe
did
not.
say the one thing I will give, what I will say to that is she was like, initially I was like, no kids, but then she fell in love and she was like, I was like very much into the vibes. We were in love. Like it seemed more of a like, he was like very adamant about it, but she kind of like fell into it more of him like dragging her into it, if that makes sense.
I want to
paint
see
some context.
I don't think. I think clearly that like the husband is really like bad, but I also feel like the whole idea of just not wanting to have this kid when you both eventually did agree on this is kind of like a-hole behavior on both sides.
Yeah, I don't know that OP's blameless
I don't think
in
OP's
here because it's
blameless,
like,
but less blame.
like also leaving. I totally understand that she was probably like just completely distraught, but also leaving without saying anything, with the kid behind. He was watching her, but like absolutely not an angel move, that's for sure. And again, arguably an angel move. But he has also blown up my phone asking me when I'm going to come back so you can take your daughter.
Wow.
Your daughter. I'll tie break and do A tier now. I'll break the tie and go A tier.
A tier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Because he's not taking any
yay.
responsibility for the kid.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he dumped him at his mom's house.
Yeah.
But I've only replied, I've already told you what's going to happen here. I love my daughter immensely, and I will be there to provide for her. I will always support her, but I won't be her primary parent. So, am I the a-hole?
Okay.
No, but everyone sucks based on that.
To get some clarity, was she like yes, her husband did, and I'm forgetting this, but yes, her husband was like, hey, we should have kids. Hey, we should have kids. But you don't like force that upon her. She eventually agreed, correct?
It seemed like she eventually got to a point where she became excited about it, and kind of it was like kind of like falling into it together versus him like dragging her into the situation.
If they both agreed to have that child, which it seems like they did, I think they should share equal responsibility. And the fact that they're both putting responsibilities, like, no, you take care of the kid more, and like you take care of the kid more, I think they're both a-holes.
That assumption is a-hole, yeah.
I think they're both a-holes. As for the husband, I think it straddles the line for B to A tier worst people.
It could be B plus at the lowest.
I think he's worse than her, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
My husband just won a multi-million-dollar court case. I want to leave him.
Good timing.
Yeah, maybe you'll get half. So, throwaway for privacy. My 32 female husband, 36 male, was in a work accident several years ago, and he won a court case in which he was awarded a sum in the multi-millions of dollars.
Congratulations.
My husband and I live in the U.S. and have been struggling for years, especially since his accident, since he hasn't been able to work a job in his specialty since. He's mainly been working minimum to low wage jobs because his degree and trade experience are in an industry his body can no longer work in. I make pretty good money, but again, we live in the economical hellscape that is America. By the way, this comes from Deleted on AITAH subreddit. So, in the last year since the settlement, my husband has become the most smug, stuck-up, pretentious man I've ever known, and I'm sick of it. Our friends and family aren't good enough for us anymore because now we have money. Our home and cars and clothes weren't good enough for us, And anyone with a small house, paid off car, or mall clothes was sad and depressing.
I mean, yeah, no, he's not wrong. I mean, he is wrong.
Wow, Dakota, you're gonna get canceled.
No.
He judges people hard, and he's not quiet about it. He's mean and rude to people we interact with. Of course, we got nicer things when he received his money, but he was adamant on luxury things, and to him, anyone who doesn't live in a mansion on the hills with a Lamborghini and Gucci shoes is embarrassing. He gets upset with me for not wanting to spend crazy amounts of money. Why would I spend $2,000 on a pair of shoes when I could get a pair for like $60? It feels like giving a child with no concept of money $20 and setting them free in the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
He's bought me a ton of expensive clothes and jewelry, new electronics. He pays for high-end spa days and even bought me a new car. Kind of sounds lit a little bit.
Well, I mean, it sounds lit, but it also sounds like every story you've ever heard of, like, how did this person win the lottery and then go completely broke?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
this
he's not
person
going to have
is
that money
just
for long.
going insane with the money.
I feel like an ungrateful bee for saying this, but I don't really like the gifts because money's not everything, guy.
Exactly.
Nothing is my style or taste, and he's buying it because it's expensive. My husband harasses me daily to quit the job I love and says that I make us look bad by working and making us still look poor. He gets upset if I want to go to the same chain restaurants we've always liked, Buffalo Wild Wings, Jack in the Box, etc., instead of 5-star Michelin steakhouses and sushi places because we can afford it now. Not for long, buddy. He even has gone as far as trying to push me towards plastic surgery because we can afford it, so why not? He suggested a boob job, a BBL, lip filler, and at one point that surgery where they remove the bottom rib.
For him or for you?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, what?
I think it's probably for him. It's
Or,
like, so
you know what?
give yourself-
I think that might be also
No visual humor.
That's
Sorry.
that's
You can give yourself
I think that's a
fellatio.
myth first, and second,
What?
the rib removal for self
Self-Hawktua.
hawk-toing. But I think maybe if you remove the bottom rib, it makes your your
Waist
waist
snatch?
longer or like thinner. Yeah,
I don't know.
'cause
Let
it's
us know in
like,
the chat. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So far, what are we feeling? What are we feeling?
I think that in terms of like he's up there.
Is he up there? Is
I
he as
think
bad?
he's right now. He's in C.
See? I'm thinking, I honestly was thinking like D initially, and
I
then
think
he said this, and so I
Yeah.
feel like it's upgraded to a C.
Yeah, he's just so gross. It's
Yeah.
like what a terrible way to find out that your husband is
Super
just
superficial.
horrible.
Yeah.
By you become millionaires and now he's intolerable.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like he's starting to think I don't look good enough for him and our new lifestyle. We've gone to couples therapy. His attitude isn't improving. It's even getting worse, and I'm miserable. This is not the man I married. I don't want to have kids and raise a family with him, but I'm afraid that if I leave, everyone will cry gold digger. We married when we were young and broke and didn't consider a prenup because we had nothing. Dumb, I know, but we had kids. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole for leaving, because this guy kind of sucks.
wait, but so if you don't have a prenup, then if you leave,
Yeah, but she's like, I want to leave him, but if I leave, I get half.
oh, is that not? I think I just mixed that up in my head really quick. I need to watch the movie Liar Liar again to remember how prenuptial agreements work.
But like a prenup would mean like he would.
Then just don't take all the money. If
Yeah.
that's what you're worried about,
can-
just don't take all the money. Let him have it, and he's gonna be flat broke anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe take
Honestly,
maybe
take the
actually-
money
wait,
so
yeah,
you
take
can
the money.
provide for your family after he spends it all.
Yeah, because at this point, it's like he's just gonna spend all of that money on
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
So it's like you might as well take as much of it as you can because you're gonna spend it better than him. Clearly,
I think you talk to him about like, hey, I really don't like these spending habits. I don't like what you're valuing. It's like it's making me question if we're right for each other.
maybe therapy could help this
Yeah.
guy.
Well, they
'Cause
are in
clearly
therapy,
he's had some
but
kind of just like complete switch up where it's like now that was he always this way?
well, I
but,
don't
like,
think
he
had
just
the
never had the
ability-
money?
Yeah, I think he didn't have the ability to be this way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think C. I think this
C?
is firmly
What do you
planted
guys
in
think?
C
Is he
tier.
C tier or D tier? Because C tier was the guy that left his wife in the hospital when she was giving birth. Is it as bad as that,
so
or is it
hard.
worse?
I think that
Or is it
I think
better?
it's just in terms of how bad like the switch up was, where it was like you went from I love this guy and we're gonna have kids and we're gonna have a family to like, oh, he's like the worst guy I've ever, like a cartoonishly just lame person
Yeah.
now that he has money.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you don't want the $2,000 shoes? Why? Because you're poor? And it's like, What?
Yeah, pretty.
Ew.
I feel like I don't like this guy. People are saying D or even E tier. They're like,
He's
He's
trying
not
to
that
change his
bad.
wife too.
yeah. Which is still why he's on the list. These are, as a reminder, all these people are terrible.
Yes.
Is-
Bad people all around.
So
Yeah.
I guess changing your wife or abandoning your wife, which one's worse?
I think offering to pay for, I think abandoning your wife during childbirth is worse than offering to give your wife a BBL.
D or the same?
I
Nah,
think
D,
I think D.
yeah.
I think D.
Maybe
Do you guys
even
think D?
E, but we'll reassess
I think
down the line.
think D for right now.
Yeah. But he just sounds so annoying. Like
Yeah.
I want him to be in C tier.
Yeah. He's Glitter not saying he's literally telling her to get plastic surgery, which is why he's on the list. That's pretty effed up. But I'm feeling it's not as bad as it's not. I don't think it's the same caliber as leaving your wife during childbirth.
Guys, go
Yeah.
vote in the poll.
Go vote.
And the only reason
D or
that's
E.
in C tier is because he was like apologetic about it. It's
Yeah,
like he
exactly.
Left and came back, and we think there might be some more stuff going on with that, so it ended up in C.
Cool.
I canceled all our streaming services and hired a house cleaner because my husband's lazy. My 28 female and my husband, 30 male, just welcomed our first baby almost 3 months ago. Understandably, it has been a huge adjustment for both of us. She's still not sleeping through the night, and we're both back to work full time. We have always split the household responsibilities 50-50. We just help where needed, and it's always worked out well.
Okay. It seems
By the
like
way-
everything's running smoothly.
Everything's running very
Until.
smooth. By the way, this comes from user KKOK5505 on the AmITheAsshole subreddit. So lately, my husband has been doing the chores terribly, and I've had to come behind him to fix things or clean them
A
again.
little weaponized incompetence.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm just a little baby. I don't know how to do
I
that.
can't do anything. What's the
Just a
I don't know how this washing machine works. That's crazy.
For example, he cleaned the bottles the other night, the baby bottles, and they were cleaned. They were cleaned.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I was
He
like,
polished off all of the vodka.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he's putting that. Don't put that in a baby bottle.
Okay. Well, you know what they
Baby night.
Tequila. They rub tequila on baby teeth.
On baby teeth.
Yeah. Like when they're teething, apparently.
Oh, okay. That'll get him to be quiet. He cleaned the baby bottles so poorly, I had to do them again. Shout out to my mom, by the way, for coming up with that joke. That's not even my joke.
What?
Giving babies like Jack Daniels
Oh.
to make them sleep. Just a joke.
Hey, but it's not. They used to give alcohol to babies.
It's a joke.
It's not a joke.
Today it's a joke.
People still do it.
I don't condone it.
I don't think it's good.
Not good.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the doctor. Probably giving alcohol to babies is a bad move.
Stop giving alcohol to babies, Sam. He dropped pump parts down the disposal and then ran it, ruining them.
Oh,
Not the breast pump.
that's automatic S tier right there.
No.
Have you ever had a pump in your life?
Do you like to pump it up, Riley? I know that you've got the
Pump it.
milk.
Anyways, go on.
Yeah. There have been several clothes that he didn't clean after a blowout that are now ruined. And do we all know what a blowout is?
I know what a Brazilian blowout is.
Okay. There are many more instances like this. I've confronted him a few times, letting him know we all make mistakes, and I know we're both tired, but it feels like he's not even trying to do things well. He just keeps saying he's so tired and is having a hard time working and taking care of the house and the baby. I do sympathize with this, as I'm also working, pumping, recovering, and taking care of the house and the baby. The final straw for me was when he told me to go to sleep and he'd put up the milk I just pumped and finish the dishes. I was so grateful until I got up and realized the milk had been sitting on the counter, and at this point,
And he drank
it
it
was
all.
no good anymore. and then
And he polished it off.
he drank all the milk that was sitting on the counter. That would
He's a
be
hungry
sweet,
boy.
right? He loves you so much. He said he was sorry, and he put on a show to relax for a bit before doing the dishes and fell asleep. The next day, I decided to cancel all of our streaming services, PlayStation Plus, and our theme park passes in order to hire a housekeeper. I figured if he's too tired to do basic household chores, then a housekeeper is necessary. If he's too tired to put milk up, then he's too tired to play video games or for us to go to a theme park. Which
Agreed.
I guess that's fair.
Consequences for your actions, but it does
Yeah.
feel like she's punishing a child. But he is acting a little bit like a child.
This is
Yeah, he's like,
he's one of the kids kind of husband.
He's like, oh, but babe, I'm just so tired from work and having to do the baby. And you're like, oh, you're tired from all the stuff that I do, then also all the stuff you don't do that I do? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Also, how you have passes to a theme park when you just had a kid for 3 months ago? I don't know. Anyway, we still have cable and the PlayStation games and can do other activities outside of the local theme park. He blew up at me and said I had no right doing that and was furious. I thought I was doing us a favor so we can get more sleep and not worry as much about household tasks. So, am I the a-hole for hiring a housekeeper without asking? There is an edit. I see a lot of comments about communication. I've been communicating nonstop about my needs and my expectations. I've let a lot of mistakes slide because I know this is hard for both of us. But when it becomes a daily thing, I let him know if he's unable to do his part, then I need additional help. I mentioned hiring some help, and he laughed and said, what a ridiculous waste of money. And I knew if I asked again, the answer would be no. So I made the decision for both of us.
Honeybee85 says she's a single mom of 2 kids, which feels true. Is she the a-hole for hiring a housekeeper? Like, I guess you could say, like, oh, she's not communicating, but she did. And like,
he's just mad that she canceled the PlayStation Plus membership.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't play my games online with my friends.
I'm not, I feel like I feel like she's not the a-hole because she's trying to solve a problem that he's not helping with.
No, she's not the a-hole.
I don't think the a-hole. I don't think the a-hole. But I would love to know what you guys think. Put your answers in the chat. Is there more to the story?
There is a little bit more into this edit. Let's see. Also, I didn't throw away the TV or the PlayStation. I just canceled our subscriptions to them. We were paying around $100 between the two. Our internet includes a handful of cable channels and peaks, so we have plenty of PlayStation games that we can still play. We both play video games and watch TV. I probably watch more on streaming, so canceling them affects both of us. Housekeeping is $300 a month, and everything I canceled, including Disney passes, is about $230, so it won't be as much of a financial burden. Plus, it will save more money as well, since I won't have to replace destroyed pump parts, clothes, and breast milk. Okay. Now that is the end.
Yeah, I would say not the a-hole.
Definitely not the a-hole.
She's trying to solve a problem.
You know.
And in terms of tier, I'm thinking, I mean, I think it's not, it's, but I'm thinking F tier. Like, I think it's like, he's bad and he's incompetent, but he's not as bad as the person that's like, you should remove a rib and get a Brazilian butt lift for sure.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think this might be an F.
I think this might be an F.
Maybe
which is refreshing to see.
Maybe an E.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Was that for the last one or for this one?
This one?
Yep.
C? You think C?
Everyone says, well, it's
I don't know.
tied. It's tied 3 ways.
C, D, and F is, F is
okay,
everyone
vote.
I'm feeling, all right. So if you're saying D, that means you think it's as bad as the guy that was like, you should get a Brazilian butt lift. And he's like basically telling his wife to change how she looks. And then C is the guy that left his pregnant wife during freaking labor. So I'm feeling F. It seems like everyone polling is or not everyone, but it seems like most people are feeling F. I think we got our first F.
Yeah, that might be F.
It might be F.
Because it's just like what? He's not helping enough around the house. And then you took matters into your own hands and hired the housekeeper. And then he was just like, that's annoying. You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But and like, F.
F? All right.
F.
I'm glad that we got our first F.
Yeah.
That feels good. I was scared that we wouldn't.
We've got the whole spectrum
and
up there right now.
And we don't even have to do that.
Yeah.
But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're just that good. My husband refuses to help with my pregnancy, so I refuse to go to his birthday dinner.
Yeah, happy birthday to nobody, loser.
For context, I will be 38 weeks pregnant on my husband's birthday this year. The previous week, I reluctantly allowed his sister to pick my daughter up from school so she could spend the day with her and his parents. She does half days still. I say reluctantly because they have continuously crossed parental boundaries in the past, but that's a different story. It had been a while, and she loves them, and I truly want them to have a relationship, so I gave it another go. Anyway, my husband and I went to pick her up at his parents', and while there, his sister asked what he was doing for his birthday coming up. I had asked him a number of times already what he wanted to do, and had thrown out some ideas for us to do as a family as well, but he never decided on anything, so he says he doesn't have plans. She asked him if he wanted her to make him dinner at her apartment. Then he said, yeah, that sounds good. It would be a family dinner, his parents, her partner, and our family, all good. Tonight he said we could drive separately because he doesn't want to leave early. He asked me at dinner if I would leave early with our daughter so I could put her to bed. He wants to stay and drink and smoke and be up late.
Oh, wow. Super fun and original.
This majorly upset me because this whole pregnancy has not felt like a partnership whatsoever. He only made one of my several ultrasounds. I'm over 35, so we get a good amount of them. Works almost every weekend voluntarily versus making plans with my daughter and I, and put off things I physically cannot do for the nursery until the 3rd trimester I've been asking him to do since the 1st. I've also asked him to look into ways he can support me during birth, and not a single Google search has been made to that effect. I'm not sure if I'm being baby crazy pregnant lady, but it certainly feels like he just wants to do whatever he wants without any regard to me carrying this child he told me he desperately wanted. I was fine with one. So he wanted a couple, he just wanted one. Our birthdays are close. The baby's due date is only 2 days after mine, so I'll be 40 weeks for my birthday if she doesn't decide to arrive before then. So for my birthday, I don't get to do anything but be pregnant and wait for the baby. It would be nice to feel like he wants to spend these special occasions with me/my daughter and I. He clearly is not empathetic to the fact that I can't go out and do these things for this period of time. So to be told to go home can be hurtful. So basically, it's his birthday.
Yeah.
He's having it with the family, and then he wants his wife to go home, take care of the kids while he smokes and drinks.
Yeah. His pregnant
wife.
very pregnant wife, like 35 weeks is pretty far.
Yeah. Do you think, I think like the problem isn't necessarily this birthday though. It's the fact that this is like not a isolated case. Like maybe if he was super supportive the whole pregnancy and he's like, hey babe, I
just need to cut loose
I just need to cut loose on my birthday. Maybe she would think it was fine. But the fact that it's like, it is the same behavior on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's what's bad. That's what's bad.
It's like completely dismissive of like, or he's acting like she's not even pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how she said she was what, 30,
and yeah, she's like close to
35?
popping.
She's a little bit older too, so it's like there's a little more stuff that can go wrong.
Also, Honeybee85 says, are we sure he's volunteering for extra work and not cheating? Pregnancy is where most men cheat.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Could be.
We got a little
He's
bit more.
volunteering at the
cheating center.
At the bank.
I told him that in that case, I don't even want to be there, and she, my daughter, and I aren't going to dinner. Honestly, I would not be in the mood to celebrate and just get upset anyway, but it does constantly feel like as much as he claims to be a family guy, spending quality time with us doesn't matter to him, and that's where it ends. So,
I mean,
to summarize, he is having a birthday. He wants to celebrate it with him and his family and his daughter and his wife. But after dinner, he wants his wife to go home and take care of the baby while he like hangs out with like some friends and drinks.
Yeah, and becomes sort of intoxicated. And then it's like, so then what happens if like she goes home, taking care of the kids, something happens. Husband's got to be there. Husband can't be there now because husband's too busy having like a
birthday.
Trying to act like he's in his early 20s at his birthday party. Like, because he's like, and I don't know, look, people's minds are complicated. It's like he's going to have this kid and he's like, oh, this might be, I mean, she already has a daughter too, but it's like, I guess this is his kid.
I have a question for the women in the chat, which we mostly are made up of. Would you let your husband celebrate his birthday if you were 38 weeks pregnant in this way? So like would you say like, hey, go and drink and smoke, I'll take care of the kids? Or would you see that as like, what are you doing? You're not taking responsibility at this point.
Yeah, chat. Let us know if you want to have a cool husband or not.
I'm curious.
I mean, I would say as a man and not a woman, no, I don't want. I think like you got to be ready to take the responsibility. It's like, oh yeah, your birthday. You can't like turn up on your birthday. Get over it, dude. You're like a grown man. You're having a kid in like a matter of weeks. You are having a kid. Get over yourself.
I think it's
and
okay.
Be there for your wife.
So I think if it wasn't a pattern, it might be okay to like.
If this was like a pre-negotiated.
Yeah,
thing.
if this was like, hey, I want to go out for my birthday. I think like maybe that would be fine, but it's because it's a pattern of disrespect. And we're getting some things from the chat. So Lena Covenant says no because I'd be pissed. Duchess Kasana says you're still an individual. I'd let him go. It's his birthday. Actually, can we do a poll? Would you let your significant other go out on your birthday? I think it's E tier. I do think it's a little worse than the one before of not cleaning.
I don't think we can put it in C. But I think it's just like really lame that your husband is sort of taking a backseat in all of the like preparation responsibilities.
That's
and, like,
what
all
I
the
think
stuff
is
that
the
he is.
big issue. I don't think it's
Yeah.
necessarily the birth. I think the birthday is the culmination of a bigger issue.
Yeah, it's like it perfectly like illustrates like what he's doing wrong. Where it's like all this stuff that you should have been really enthusiastic about and like doing at the beginning, the first trimester. It's like she's still asking you to do it, and she's like mondo pregnant.
Yeah.
Like how many weeks is a 9-month pregnancy? Like what? It's 52 weeks in a year.
40.
Take 3.
40.
Yeah, so she's like
2
2
weeks
weeks
away.
away.
Yeah.
Which means that
And you could have- you
realistically
could have
she
it
could
at
have
any
the
time.
baby tonight.
Yeah.
Like so, I think it's
It looks like
real irresponsible.
What is this? What is this? Yes, 91% would let their significant other go out on their birthday. I'm like, I think it would be okay. The only issue is it's a pattern. It's a pattern.
I don't think it's so much about letting him go to his own birthday. I think it's more that he's insisting that like he gets a little turned up at his birthday.
Yeah.
And like is leaving the wife and the like kind of alone
Which I think
at
is
a point where she could literally just like go into labor, and now what? It's like he's too messed up at his birthday party to even take his own wife to the hospital or like be there and be present.
I think because it is a pattern, that's why it's bad. I think I'm going to go E tier. I don't think it's as bad as because nothing really as bad has happened.
It's like E plus D minus.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's not as bad as telling your wife to get a BBL.
no.
And it's better than not cleaning the baby bottles.
Yeah, it's just
I think it's E.
It's just something I would have to bring it up and be like, yo, I just really don't like how you seem to just be really floating through this whole process here. Where it's like everything's just like, well, we'll get to it later. It's like,
Yeah.
well, later I'm gonna
Well,
be having a baby.
It feels like he's
like we need this
he's
stuff
not
ready before.
engaged in the as engaged as she would want him to be in the pregnancy.
Yeah.
And that is not where you want to be as a parent. Duchess Cassandra says, for the birthday, he can choose, but I think they need a babysitter so that she can enjoy too instead of sending her home like that. So disrespectful and dismissive. Shayna Holloway says, was he like this in the first pregnancy? If so, why have another baby with him? If he suddenly changed, something is going on. Lena Covenant, if she goes into labor, she couldn't drive herself.
Oh wait, that was their kid? I thought that was from like a different.
I think it's their kid.
Oh.
They have one other kid.
Oh well, then wait, what? That's extra confusing now.
But that's where it is. That's where it is.
Maybe that's what his vibe is. He's like, we already did this once. Can't you already know how to do it, right? Come on.
You're a
Call an
pro.
Uber. Call a taxi.
I told my husband he's too broke to be so sexist. And now he's furious with me.
Dude, what a comeback.
Yeah, sounds like a not cool guy. Throw away. So my husband comes from a traditional family. Mom's a stay-at-home mother. Father was a sole provider. I come from the opposite. My mom pretty much forbade me from ever being financially dependent on a man and drilled that into me early on. By the way, this comes from user OKSchedule1138 on the AmITheAsshole subreddit. So my husband worked hard to unlearn the values he saw replicated at home. He often more than pulled his weight at home, was an engaged and present father, and a genuine partner. The one thing that grinds my gears is how much weight he puts on the opinions of his family. I get that we all want our parents to be proud of us, but this is too much. My in-laws are staying with us for 2 weeks. Our usual MO is I prep breakfast, we all eat lunch at work/school, and my husband makes dinner. We have a cleaner, but she's on holiday, so in the meantime, we're DIYing the cleaning where it's down to everyone to keep their space clean, and common spaces we all clean. This is how we've always done it, and it works. My in-laws hate that I'm one of those modern women. They hate that I work, they hate that I don't find my purpose in being a wife and mother, and they hate that my husband pulls his weight at home.
What a dude, a list of terrible things to hate.
Yeah.
Equality.
They're just like, we don't like independent, strong women.
Yeah.
We just hate that.
Can you maybe like have a little bit of like less self-worth?
Yeah. As your father and mother-in-law, be worse. Be worse off, please.
Don't be so competent, actually.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing all of it?
Yes, we would prefer you to be completely dependent on
Yeah.
a baby who cannot help themselves.
Yeah. We would prefer you to suckle on your husband's teat.
And also do what he says. Do what he says.
Suckle on that teat.
Indeed. We spoke pretty frankly early on, where I established my boundaries and I told them I won't be chastised about how I live my life in my home. When I'm a guest in their home, I accommodate their ways and play the daughter-in-law they wish I was. They have, for the most part, respected this. I got home yesterday after work, tired and starving. Typically get home around 8:15. Oh, this is like 5:15, 5:30. And we eat at 6.
Are they in the military?
Wait, what? This is all military time. This is maritime, nautical time. Is that 7? Okay, so it's 6:15, 6:30, and then 7. I said quick hellos and ran up for a pre-dinner shower. When I came down, I went to the kitchen to help set up for dinner and found nothing ready. I asked my husband about it, but he wouldn't look at me, and his mother answered that he hadn't cooked anything. Oh, my son, he doesn't do the cooking.
Seems like you do. Welcome to your new job.
I'm sorry, it's not opposite world. My son doesn't do the cooking. She told me I needed to do my duty as a wife and cook for my family. My cow of a husband still wasn't looking at me.
Dude, he knows he's in the doghouse. He knows.
He knows it. He's like,
Man has no spine. He's like trying to do what his mom wants and like can't look his wife in. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. I think you just cook. You're like, Mom, aren't you hungry? I'm going to cook for us.
The mom's like waiting all day. And they're like, I will not eat anything made not by my, what? Not by my husband's wife.
I only eat food prepared by a woman. The way God intended.
It tastes better.
It's like, Mom, you're hungry. Just eat it. Da, 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 da. I just walked away and ordered takeaway. I dished up for me and my kids, and we sat at the table to eat. My husband and his parents served themselves and joined us. My mother-in-law was still going on about what was wrong with me and why I was a failure. I asked my husband if he had anything to say. He said his mother had a point. And it wouldn't hurt if I acted more like a proper woman.
Dude, but I'm imagining him saying like, like it wouldn't hurt if you acted like a proper woman.
Yeah.
Like cowering in fear.
Yeah, he's just like totally caught between. I don't
know what to do.
It wouldn't hurt if you acted more like maybe a little bit more like a proper woman.
Right, Mom?
Yeah, and he's got the combo here because he's about to say, act more like a proper woman and took better care of my home and children.
Oh, wow. He's about to get it.
Yeah, you mean the thing she's been doing?
He's about to get it.
He said tradition was tradition for a reason. Yeah, you know why? Because people that are up in the power structures don't want things to change, dude. That's why tradition exists.
I'm waiting for the clap back. I'm waiting.
Yeah. He said tradition was tradition for a reason, and it was kind of insulting that I thought I was too good for how he was raised. This is where I might be the a-hole. I told him tradition won't allow a man on $35,000 a year to support a family of 5, and he was too broke to be so sexist. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn. Get wrecked.
Get smacked down.
Bah.
It's WWE. RKO out of nowhere. Your wife is Randy Orton.
And the crowd goes, what?
Yeah, they do. The crowd loves a good RKO. He looked hurt, and I saw tears welling in his, and I'm going to ad-lib here, stupid little baby eyes. He excused himself from the table. I regret saying this in front of our children, but him saying that to me after I'm busting my butt to clean up his mess on top of having to deal with his parents was too much for me. Also, you said that in front of the children. He said that in front of your children.
Yeah.
Like, where's that? No. Am I the a-hole? No.
No, I don't.
No.
Well, I mean, it's not the nicest thing to say for sure. And maybe doing it. And the only reason I would say maybe a-hole-y is only because it was said in front of the children.
Oh, but sometimes you got to know.
But sometimes
gather around,
you gotta tell the
gather
kids
around. I'm going to tell you the story about how your dad's a brokey. Uh-huh.
But
he wants to tell me I have to cook and clean and do everything. Hey, let's do some math real quick, children. How much is $35,000 to a family of 5? I'll tell you how much. Not enough. And if you didn't want that to happen, you shouldn't have flamed me for being just like an independent woman who's not like, I don't even know what the values are. Like, what are they like
Duchess Cassandra says
the
justified
values.
a-hole. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think
Slam
you
dunk.
honestly say it, but just as long as you say it not in front of the kids, I think it would be fine.
But he already unleashed it in front of the kids. He's telling his wife in front of their children,
Which is an
it would
a-hole
be
thing
better if you were
to do
yeah.
as well. But I think I don't know. I think fighting in front of kids is just never. It's the least a-hole thing to do to not fight in front of the kids.
Yeah, it is true. You don't want.
You don't want
fighting
to fight
in front of the children.
You don't want to do it.
But they were pushed.
You were pushed. So justified. He's way more of an a-hole, to be clear.
Wild of him to be saying any of that on on a salary that cannot support the family.
It was so sweet.
That was
So
a
sweet.
Yeah,
so
that
sweet.
Was a good dunk.
where are we feeling that we rank this? Because
I don't know. B because it's empty.
B no,
but
it's,
also because it makes sense.
B. I think.
Well, no, I think it's
like
you have a broke husband who wants you to be a traditional values woman and you've never been that way.
Built into the relationship. I feel like it's C potentially. I feel like it's like a C. Yeah, it's not as bad as leaving your wife in pregnancy.
Guess not.
I think it's as bad as getting having your wife get a BBL.
I just can't imagine like my husband, like if I'm a theoretical, like I'm putting myself in this woman's shoes and then like I'm like hearing this come out of my husband's mouth being like, you know, it would be nice if you were more of a traditional
that's
lady.
really whack.
And it's like,
that's really whack.
That's a terrible husband. Like, because I mean, how do you
if we were to rank
how do you
this,
go back from that? I don't
if
but
we
I
were
don't
to
know.
rank this, would we put the guy leaving his wife to
maybe.
B and then this one up to C?
Yeah, I think that might be the move. I think that guy goes up to C.
Yeah.
C goes to B, and then this story is in C.
I think this one is in C. I think
the rich guy is still in D.
Yeah. I feel like that feels good.
Or well,
I feel it's like
but the rich guy was like, yeah, here's a whole laundry list I had ready of the plastic surgery I want you to get.
I think that's bad, but like I feel like the misogyny is worse. It's like
isn't that kind of also misogyny? Well, yeah, I guess it's in a different form.
It's a different form.
I don't know.
I would
it's
love to
hard.
know. I would love.
These people are so terrible.
I would love to know what you guys think, but we now have a husband in every tier.
Yeah, it's true. We really did start with the S tier.
Yeah, okay, go.
That's crazy.
So let us know if you guys think our tier list is in the correct order, or if you disagree with anything. Please put your answers in the comments below.
Let us know if they should be
reorganized
elsewhere.
But with that, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
and see you tomorrow.